Hello, I'm Sam from Sound on Sound magazine. I'm at Synthfest UK in Sheffield, and with me is Jackson from Modal Electronics. Hello Jackson, how are you doing?
I'm very well, how are you?
I'm very well, and I'm very pleased to be standing in front of an Argon8.
One of the very few that's in existence at the moment, yeah.
Cool, so this is a product launch at the show. It's a very cool looking little synthesizer. Tell us a bit about it.
Where to begin? We're leaning on a lot of the technology that's come from us as a company before. So when we look at the Sculpt or the Craft Synth or even the 00 series, we're trying to learn all the lessons from these things and trying to reduce that technology into its kind of best format. And I think this as a synthesizer, whilst it leans on those things, is an improvement on everything that we've done before. So for us, really, this is a new foot forward. In a familiar direction, but in a direction that is, exciting for us and keeps us kind of flowing and thinking about things in the future.
So it's a keyboard instrument, and it's fundamentally a wavetable synth, is that right?
8-voice wavetable, 37 keys, full-size keys. Not strictly wavetable as you would think about it in the 80s, more 2019 wavetables. We have access to a lot of brilliant instruments in your computers that can do a vast amount of things. There aren't a huge amount of physical instruments that can actually touch a lot of that stuff, and I think that's kind of where we're headed with this. We want to give you a physical product which can actually do justice to the stuff that we can do with infinite computers, the power that is in a computer. Like we want to give a physical product that can actually
So you're taking wavetable synthesis and making it kind of hands-on, is that the idea?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so give me a few examples. What sort of hands-on controls do we have?
As you'd expect with wavetables, you can kind of morph, even with wavetables of the past, you couldn't really morph through stuff. You could pick a wave shape that was different from an analog wave shape, right? And we could kind of define 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one's the one I want. We're now in a position where we can morph through these things and we can get a fluid movement through sound with the wavetables, but we have various steps to modify the sound after the fact, if that makes sense. So we choose a position of the wave shapes. We can actually apply 2 different processes, or really 3 different processes after the fact before we start to filter and envelope those things. So in terms of actually building your initial wave shape, there is just a vast amount of possibilities with this instrument that you would never have access to in anything else. So we can do stuff like traditional frequency modulation or phase modulation, amp modulation, ring modulation, all of these things that we would have heard from yesteryear. But then we come to a new thing for us, which is wave modulation, a static process that's applied to the wave after all of those decisions. So I've chosen my wave shape, the tuning, whatever's modifying it with phase modulation, for example, and then I come to an offline process which completely redraws both of those waveforms independently. We've got one for each wave sort of section. It's super difficult to quantify in words, but it's just basically giving you an infinite amount of sound possibility. Infinite is a big word, but I mean figuratively.
And all this wavetable creation is handled directly within the instrument, or can you load in your own wavetables?
We can't load it. We can. We have the technology to do that, but it would be really daft of us to allow users to load in their own wavetables. The thing is, the level of education you have to give somebody to actually load a wavetable into a synthesizer and what is going to work and what isn't, you would end up with something that sounds really crappy. We could give you the option to do that stuff, but like, how do we inform people that you can only put in something that is of this size, of this file format? How much education do we have to give to allow people to do that? It's kind of daft of us to step all the way into that. Yes, we can do it, but what's better is that we curate something that sounds really good.
Yeah, so you want to create something that's a player's instrument right out of the box.
I don't need to say anything to that, yeah, exactly.
Cool. So after you've done the wavetable bit, then there's what, digital filtering, or is that analog filtering?
It's a digital instrument. We are really proudly digital with this one. I think, like, me personally, I am a real advocate of analog. I love it. I love getting things and just clipping them and seeing what they sound like when they're not supposed to be used in this way, and what that happens, But really, digital, the possibilities are so much more vast. And like, when you actually open your mind and open your kind of open your possibilities to the digital realm and what you can do there, it's so much more malleable than analog is. So we're running with it. Like, why wouldn't you? Digital is a crazy beast to get involved with, and it's bizarre to me that people are still putting analog filters on something that's digital just for the sake of it. Why?
Well, it sounds incredible. So if I want to get involved in this crazy digital beast, how much is it going to cost me?
579 UK.
Wow, and this is for an 8-voice polysynth?
8-voice polyphonic, yeah.
Sounds amazing. And when is it going to be available?
We're looking at the end of November. At the moment, we're still developing, we're still fine-tuning everything, but yeah, end of November we're looking likely to be shipping.
Wow, fantastic, Jack. Thanks, Jackson. I can't wait to get one in for review. Look forward to trying it. Thanks very much. Have a great show.
Thanks for speaking to us, yeah.